So the next two questions are on art and inclusion. You asked if art has played a role in Frankie's education, visual, performing. Yeah, I would say if I could show you our refrigerator, it is covered with amazing art that Frankie has made. So I think, I don't know as much school, but I think his after school program, especially this year, they create art all the time. These are a little bit older. The kite is very recent. That leaf behind the Minnesota is very recent. So yeah, they do incorporate art, and I think what's great about that is it just helps Frankie focus on a task, and he's proud. You know, he's 20 now, so maybe he gets a little embarrassed if I fawn over his art or get excited about it. But I think it's still a really cool thing to sit with the process, focus on it, and kind of do it from beginning to end. Performing art, I would say not so much. That Frankie performs. Um, during his summer program, they go see a lot of shows. He likes that. Honestly, some of his favorite movies are musicals. We sit and watch music videos on YouTube a lot. That's really meaningful for him, and I can tell the things he likes and doesn't like. Um, I was going to say something else. Oh, and at Transition Plus, you know, at least one of his teachers is in a band. They have a performing music space, so that's part of the educational experience. But that Frankie enjoys seeing other people perform. He just doesn't do a lot himself. And inclusion. Somebody asked how the schools have included Frankie over time. So I mentioned in an earlier question about how we had a choice when Frankie was little, I believe before kindergarten, I'm not sure, to either go with a strict autism program or more of a DCD program, developmentally challenged. And it was really clear, you know, for an autistic kid or teenager, however old they are, who isn't social, who needs structure, who needs quiet, the traditional autism program would be great. But I just feel really grateful that there are two options because Frankie would be miserable with that and disruptive to people who do want quiet. So knowing that there was a developmentally challenged program where he could be himself and be social and be active but still have a great education, that was really cool too. So, you know, the DCD program was always housed within a typical school. I will say there was a really big difference between Washburn High School and Southwest. So Frankie was at Washburn, his program was at Washburn, freshman, sophomore, junior year. And then I want to tell you guys the story in person about how they kind of shoved us out of Washburn. And we're building a new DCD program at Southwest, which is nice. We just didn't feel very included in that discussion. But what was amazing about once we made the move to Southwest is I felt like the DCD program was much more a part of the school. I mean, it's a community-based school. I honestly don't know what that means even now. But it was just much more of a welcoming experience. Super clear example. Several times within a month of going there, Frankie's teacher would tell me that the typical kids invited some of the DCD kids to sit with them at lunch. Sorry, it gets me choked up every time. Which never happened at Washburn. I mean, and I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is. But I know I felt like Frankie was much more a part of the Southwest community. And he had a job where he delivered mail, like delivered interoffice mail between teachers, like took announcements and stuff to teachers. I don't know that Southwest is that much smaller. I just think that maybe they have a different model. And since the DCD program was moving there, you know, as permanently as anything is, I think they made much more of an effort to include them there.